All right. So here we are, Jennifer King. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Tina. I'm so excited to be here today.
I'm really excited to be that you're here because I think that when I met you, I didn't realize what a powerhouse you were until I really found out. But I think you have such a great, inspiring story for a solo agent in Canada, in the US. I think you're going to inspire a lot of people today. And I'm just so happy that we're together. And I want to dive in. I want to dive in and get to know Jennifer King and have
Yes.
our audience know Jennifer King. So tell us a little bit, actually, before we dive in, because I always like to qualify things and say, why are we talking to Jennifer King? So I want people to know that she's not just a part time realtor that sold a couple of houses. You started your first year in real estate, which only 3 years ago. You sold 47 homes your first year in real estate as a solo agent. Your second year, which was 2022, you sold 65. This year, you're at 68
Mhm.
sales, which is amazing because people are struggling. People are leaving the business, and here you're increasing. And I'm sure you're going to have a rocking year next year. So when you're listening to this, know that you're listening to a person that has really seeded in the business. And so I'm just really excited to unpack that. So let's talk about your journey before real estate, what you did, because I love your story, and how the heck you got here to EXP and on this podcast.
Amazing. Thank you. So I have some sales background back when I lived in Whistler, British Columbia, our premier ski resort in Canada.
Okay.
I was in retail sales there and it was amazing. I was very good at it. I loved it. After my time in Whistler, I just needed a change. Whistler was growing. So I took off, did some traveling, and I ended up in the northern part of Canada in Fort McMurray, which is where we produce oil for petroleum, for gas. So I became a heavy equipment operator, operating the world's largest dump trucks. Like they're crazy if you've seen them. And I did that for 11 years, but it was starting to get old. I was hard on my body. I needed a change. And I was hitting 50. So I thought, I need a change. What am I going to do? It was either fitness, because I love fitness, or it was real estate, because that's something since I was a little girl. I always loved beautiful homes, and I would ask my mom to drive me around to see the homes, and so I thought real estate would be perfect, and I just went for it, and it's been a wild ride.
I love that. I love it. So tell them where you sell right now because you're in Elk Valley. Where is Elk Valley in Canada?
Yeah, so Elk Valley is comprised of three small towns in the southeast corner of British Columbia. So we're right above Montana, right above Glacier National Park in Montana, and we're about 2.5 hours from Calgary, Alberta.
Okay.
So everyone thinks of British Columbia, they think of Vancouver, they think of the ocean, but we're actually in the Rocky Mountains. So it's great. So I left Whistler and I needed to have another mountain town in my life. So Fernie, British Columbia is what I would consider the next best ski area in Canada. So take note of that, investors, because it's
Right.
still undiscovered and it's world-class skiing. It's really great. And we mountain bike and hike and really
Oh,
great place.
I love that. I love that. So obviously you sell in a mountain town. And did you grow up in a resort sort of mountain town? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I grew up in Whistler. We moved there in the early 80s. I was in high school at the time, and there actually wasn't even a high school in Whistler, if you could imagine. It's like the Vail or Aspen of the United States.
Right.
And then it just grew into this monstrosity that it is now. I don't know if you've seen the real estate up there, but it's like similar to Breckenridge or Vail or Aspen, right?
Yeah.
It's wild, and it's one of my favorite markets to follow, actually.
Let's talk about your market in general. You share just some of your coming into the market. You're in a resort market now. You said it's undiscovered, but what is the market like in general? Because you're selling 570 homes a year and it's a tiny town. Like you said, there was under how many thousand people? Like it's not big.
No, it's not big. Sparwood, I live in Sparwood just outside of Fernie, and there's only, oh, I can't remember the exact
10,000.
numbers.
Small.
Anyway, small,
Yeah.
small town. Fernie has about 5,500. I think Sparwood's 48, somewhere
Right.
around there.
Right.
Right. But the whole valley is about 15,000 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you're selling real estate. So what is the market? Like how many sales do you know are happening per month or per year? It can't be that many.
It's Yeah, it's not, it's a fair amount. I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me, but what we have here that, and the reason I moved here from heavy equipment operator, I actually moved down here because we actually have mines here as well.
Mhm.
So I actually transferred and was doing that for a while. So we have these thriving four coal mines, actually, meteorological coal. So the coal that makes steel. So we are a thriving mining community as well as a resort town. So we have that balance of both. And it's actually, we don't tend to see the same kind of drops in the market that other places see because we have such a high turnover
Mm.
with the tourism and the mines that people are always coming and going here. So there's always a house to sell. There's always a new person moving here, right? So it really is a diverse market. It's very different. Like I have buyers right now waiting for the market to crash, and I said, I just don't see it coming. Like I'm maybe a little slowdown, but I don't see it dropping substantially.
I think all over the US, even here, they're waiting for the market to crash. And I think that's just a normal thing, right? They go, oh, it's just not a good time to buy, or they're listening to the news and media, but they don't use logic sometimes. They use emotion to say, I'm not going to buy. Something's going to happen. So let's go back to it's your first month or two in real estate.
Oh,
Okay. So your first year, you sold 47 homes. Most people sell four and they're like, yes, I'm right on track. In my mind, to being broke, they're right on track. If you talk to a real estate trainer or broker, they will tell you you're going to sell about four homes your first year. So, how did you come in knowing what you didn't know? And who was your mentor? Did you have one? Did you read a book, a class? Like, how did you dive in to real estate?
so I didn't start at EXP. I started at another brokerage.
Right.
And the reason I chose that brokerage was I did have a lady who offered to mentor me. And
Nice.
I really felt that she was going to help me, and she did. And it was amazing.
Right.
I actually knew her from up north where I came from driving the truck. So it was like, it made sense. The whole time I was all speaking with other realtors and mentors in the business. Bill Hahn was one of my mentors. He was with EXP and still is. And he offered to help me as well. So with everybody and all the help, I was able to get a really good footing and a really good start. But one of the things that I think that really helped me catapult myself into the business and the industry was the 2 years. It took me 2 years to study to get my license because I was so terrified about failing. So I studied really hard. And in that time, I also gave to my community. So
Mhm.
I was giving to my community in every and any way I knew possible. And I think that know and trust was already in place when I started. So people were actually excited for me and wanted to support me. And right away, the calls started coming. And I made a really big attempt at launching myself, making sure that everyone in my sphere knew that I was a new realtor. I did it as professionally as I could with professional photography and website design and all that. And that was terrifying because I had to spend quite a bit of money up front. But Phil Juan said, you got to do it, Jen, you got to do it. And so I just listened to what everyone was telling me, and I did it, and I did it right, apparently, right?
Yeah. You were giving to the community, so you had a good presence. You said people know and trust me. And I think that when I try to coach people, I'm like, look, people want to work with somebody they like, but more importantly, they want to work with somebody that believes in what they're selling. You have to believe in what you're selling, that builds confidence, and then be able to connect and really show value and really make sure that if I'm going to hire you, Jennifer King, I better believe you're going to get me a result. So yes, I need to know and trust you. However, do you have skill? Do you know your product? And can you get me a result? And do you feel like when you were a new agent that you knew the product? Did you know, study it? What did you do to get your brain wrapped around not just opening doors because people like you?
Yeah, I definitely took on studying the market and the product. It was clear to me that was super important. And it was so surprising to me how the phone was just ringing and ringing. And it was terrifying in the beginning. To all you new agents out there, it's terrifying, right? And then when the phone rings, you're like, how am I gonna, and you just lean into your mentors, lean into the people that you've surrounded yourself with. And once I had a couple deals, like I remember when my mentor said, after 5 deals, she said, "Jen, you've got this. You're doing great." So I just and that one thing my broker says to me, and my past broker and my new broker, they say, "Jen, the reason you're so successful is you ask questions." I
Mhm.
constantly am confirming that what I'm doing is correct and the best thing for my client. So I'm always trying to learn and make sure that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that. And I did your social media is great. And what Phil told you to do is working because when I did look at your social media, it looks luxury. It looks beautiful. It looks high end. And I can tell that it's somebody that cares about their business and their aesthetic. And I think that draws people in. It's, okay, she's serious. She's got a nice website. She's got a great aesthetic. So kudos there.
Thank you.
And I love lean into your mentors because I think sometimes people start this and they don't have that learner theme, that resourcefulness, that, "Oh, I don't want to look even more stupid asking, but my God, you're stupid when you start. You don't know anything. You're supposed to ask." So I think the seekers that I find people swimming to the boat, they're the ones that make it. And then the others just, you go, where did they go? I have all this info here. Where are you? So talk a little bit about when you transitioned away from your other brokerage to EXP Realty, which today EXP it's growing in Canada. There's 6,000 EXP agents. There's 90,000 of us. We just hit 90,000 agents globally. We're in 22 countries and we are peers at our company, right? Even though we're in countries. So talk a little bit about you gave me a percentage that your business grew when you went to EXP. So talk about that and why do you think that it grew?
I couldn't believe it. My business grew 38% when I
Wow.
moved to EXP.
Wow.
And it's the lead generation, it's the collaboration, it's the technologies, it's everything that EXP gives us to succeed. And of course, the mentors that come with it. And here you and I are talking because I commented on one of your posts
Yeah.
and I follow you and love you, of course. And I've seen you at all the events. But all of a sudden, just like that, here we are together, and that's EXP. You can connect with anybody at any time at any level, and they will help you. But you have to have the courage to reach out. You have to have the courage to put yourself in the rooms, to make the calls, to put yourself out there. Because if you don't, how's Tina Caul going to help you?
I think I love what you said is connect at any time with anyone. I know that when I got here, Glenn Sanford sent me a text message and I went, oh my God, this is probably fake. Nope, it was Glenn for 15,000 agents. I'm sure he can't do that for everybody today. But the accessibility of that man, like just at EXPCON, I don't know if you were there at the closing batch. Were you there?
It
And
was.
Sid was sitting at the entrance, hugging and shaking everybody's hand. This is a billionaire CEO that at any other company would be somewhere up a tower in a glass tower, but not him. And I think that the culture begins with the leader. If they're collaborative and they're boots on the ground, I know I love to be right in the weeds with things, pick up the broom and sweep if you need to. And that's how I feel about him. So congrats on taking the leap. What do you think EXP is going to do in Canada? Do you think is it growing like wildfire? Are people curious about it? What are agents in your town saying about it?
It's really amazing to see it grow, and it grows organically and naturally. Like, I have people reaching out to me all the time saying, "Just tell me more.
Yeah.
You are clearly so happy and so successful. Just tell me more. What is this company all about?" So it's
Yeah.
always my favorite conversations, right? It's something I love sharing with people. It truly I one of the agents I introduced to EXP, she said to me, it took her a year to
Mhm,
come,
mhm.
a year. And
Great drummer
when
like
she
her.
came, she said, "Jen, you undersold it." And I said, "It's
Mad at you.
you don't wanna make it sound too good, right?" But it is, it's so good, and she is so happy, and her business has had the same results as mine, and it's just amazing, right? Like, it truly is a disruptor. It truly has changed my life, and I love helping change other people's lives by introducing them to this amazing company.
Yeah, and I'm so happy for you because I look at our journey, 24 years in the business. I didn't have an EXP. I just had go sell a home, and you're gonna be at that level soon, Jen, where you're getting to a point where there's not enough Jennifer King. And what is Jennifer King gonna do next? Because I got to 130 transactions, but then what? Then you don't have any more Tina calls to go around. So what's your future? What's your cutoff for like growth? Now you might need leverage to build a team. Are you thinking about that?
Of course, my mentors are talking to me about this, and it terrifies me to start a
Yeah.
team. I have listened and I do have a personal assistant. I have social media managers. I have listing coordinators. I have buyers. Like I have a lot of help in the back office
Yeah.
that I've implemented. And it's also made a huge difference in my world, giving
Yeah.
me back some life. It's definitely something this year I want to focus on. But to be honest, this upcoming year, my goals are to actually join EXP Luxury. I
Oh,
want to be with you. Yeah,
excellent.
well, I really do. And I something was said at EXPCON that made me go, I'm doing it. Because I live in an area where in Fernie, we do have the $1 million homes. We
Right.
do. It's amazing. But the other little towns are little mining towns, and we don't quite have those beautiful luxury homes here. They're coming.
Right.
I thought, how can I join EXP Luxury when I'm selling manufactured homes or little condos or small
Yeah.
miners' houses? And
Right.
somebody said at the conference, it's a brand, not a price point.
That's
And that was for me, that I was done. I was like, I'm in, I'm
yeah.
coming. We're going to make people feel luxurious no matter what they buy,
It's an
right?
experiment.
The
Yeah.
experience, we're going to
Yeah.
give them the experience. So I'm really excited about that. So this year, that's gonna be my focus.
I love
But
that.
what comes after that, it's gonna take a lot of coaching because
Well,
it's terrifying. I
and
see what you've done in
yeah.
time,
And
right? But
think about this. When I was selling $250,000 homes, I still wanted to give a luxury experience. So our tagline was $1 million service in all price ranges. Like it's $1 million service. It's luxury. It's Nordstrom. I don't care if you are selling $150,000 home or $1,500,000. To me, I'm going to treat the $150,000 customer just like that is their palace. That is their home. And a home is a home, whether it's 10,000 square feet or 1,000, that is your heartbeat. And when I really was passionate about that, and I would walk into homes, and it's funny because when I started growing a team and I would train our agents and they'd come with me on appointments and they'd walk out of homes and I could see like their nose was turned up and they'd go, "Are we going to take that listing?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, we're going to take that listing because that's someone's home and we can do this and we can do this." And so it's understanding that lifestyle. Yes, you should join
I
and
will.
and you will attract that energy and that luxury price point. So
Yes,
good for you. And we have great masterminds too. So
I know. I'm excited.
yeah, it sounds like you're doing amazing. You're on the right track. You're still focusing on Jennifer King because you will in 2 years probably get to those 100 deals and go, okay, now I need to expand somewhere because it's fun for now. It took me 14 years to break. So you've still got some time to enjoy the business, the fruits of your labor. Give me let's wrap with some advice for aspiring realtors that are maybe in Canada that are like, wow, they're just blown away by you because they've been in the business 10 years and they're selling on average 5 homes. And they're like, how the heck did she do it? What advice would you give Jennifer King 3 years ago? Because you know her and her pain points. What advice would you give her today to start even faster?
I would say put yourself in the rooms.
Mm,
Put yourself in the rooms with people who are doing what you want to do. And if where you are isn't giving you that, open up your mind to what else is out there
mm,
because it is out there and it is different to DXP. And there's a lot of opportunity and there's so much support and growth there. I would just say reach out to people, start
mm.
talking to people who are doing what you want to do. Because those people, the right people will help you. I know I have reached out to so many people. Anybody I think that's doing amazing, I always reach out and you're going to learn something from every single connection that you make. And then it creates this web and I feel so connected to all the agents across Canada, actually, whatever brokerage. when I'm connecting with agents across the country, just somebody that resonates with me. That's who I
Right.
want to connect with, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone has something to offer, right? And you just have to put yourself in the face of those people.
I agree. I agree. And you always hear people say you become the 5 people that you're closest to, right? That if those people are in your world, whether it's work or home. And so if I want to be a public speaker, then I should go and figure out how can I get in the world of a public speaker? How can I befriend a public speaker? Because I'm going to learn and glean off that. You became friends with Phil Hahn, who's an excellent coach. He coaches in the world and EXP world. Every week he does his script and battles and whatever. So you're gonna be able to grow with Phil, and he's probably one of the 5 people you spend a lot of time with now at EXP. So I love that. And going back to get in the rooms, you've been here 3 years. I'm gonna guess that you're probably going to a couple events a year.
I've been to almost all the events, to be
There
honest.
there
And
you
that was a leap of faith because that costs money. But then
uh
you write it off. No, it's been something that I've noticed a lot of other agents don't do that as much as I thought they would. And there's no doubt in my mind, it has catapulted my business. There's no doubt. I takeaways, the connections, it's honestly heartwarming.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's one of those things where I tell people all the time. I think I was at EXP for a few years and I had been to 17 events. That's a lot of events. At whatever event there was, I was there in the front row meeting
Great to do.
people, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be worlds ahead of everyone else because you are in the rooms. So I'm so glad that you said that answer because I was hoping you wouldn't prove me wrong on this one point to
Yes.
say, oh, yeah, I've only been to one event in 3 years. Oh, darn, I can't go where I want to go because it is important. And so people like you, they excel because of putting themselves in the room and because of picking up the phone and not being afraid to ask somebody who's climbed that mountain before you a question.
That's right.
I love that. Well, you are an inspiration, my friend.
And so
Um,
are you.
are and you are just wonderful. I'm so proud of all your success, but you've earned it and you work hard and it shows. And I can see your passion for helping people. And I think that's going to help you be a great leader at EXP and bringing people into your organization, your network. If you guys are in Canada and you are near this lady, call her, pick her brain. She's willing to help.
Or if you're anywhere, just
Anywhere in
reach
the world, actually, that's
reach out.
true.
So
How that yeah, call her.
reach out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
You gonna be in Cabo?
I don't know if we're going this year.
Okay.
We're gonna be in, Hawaii. We're going to Maui.
Yes.
So we're
Yes.
doing that event because Brent asked me to speak at that event, and I
Oh,
said,
good.
"Fine, it's Maui, twist my arm,
I know. I'm going to Maui in a couple weeks, so I'm gonna miss Maui in January, but I will be at Cabo in March.
All right, maybe we'll go because 'cause we're empty nesters now, so we can
Oh, cool. Yeah, please come. I'd love to see you
I
in
know.
person.
Thank you for being on our show, and you are amazing, and I will see you somewhere soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Tina.
See you
Amazing.
later.
Bye.